Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Land of Music podcast with your host, Adam Roach.
Hey Adam, how's it going?
Good, how are you?
I'm doing good, man. Just got out of my last interview, jumping on over. Thanks for taking the time.
No problem. How are they all going there? The interviews?
Yeah. They've all been great so far. I had a few yesterday, got a few today. So yeah, it's fun.
Yeah. The fun part of the music business.
Yeah.
So you're in California, aren't you?
So I actually live in Texas. I live just outside. I live just outside of Austin, Texas.
Oh, right. Okay. So the band was originally from California, were they?
Yeah. So like the roots are in California. I lived in northern and southern California at certain points in my life. But now I'm in Texas.
Oh, right. Oh, nice. Yeah. All right. So you guys are coming down in, was it November?
Yep, November we'll be there.
Yeah, with the scary kids scaring kids.
Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't seen them, but heard about them.
Yeah. I haven't seen those guys in forever, so it's gonna be cool to get reacquainted.
Yeah. So it's the last time. So notice you're here. Was it 2013? Your first tour to Australia?
Yep. Yeah. The first and the last time I was there.
Oh, really? That was the last time.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Wow. So it's quite a while ago.
Yeah. It's been over a decade, so I'm excited.
Yeah. So last time, did you do like the whole Australia?
I'd have to look up the poster, which it's funny. I've said that like a million times in these interviews by now, and I still haven't gone on my phone to pull it up. So I'm a little more educated on remembering exactly where I went. I feel like it was like 5 or 6 dates somewhere around there. You know what? Just while I'm talking mid-sentence, I'm just going to look this up because I even like remember who we went over there with.
Yeah.
Dream on Dreamers, who we went there with, which they were from there. Oh, here we go. Got it.
All right.
So let's see. So we did Brisbane. Let's see. Gold Coast, Sydney, Newcastle, Canberra, Melbourne, Adelaide, and Perth.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, and some of those were just like double nights. So it was one was an all ages and another was 18 plus. Oh no. Oh yeah, I totally remember that now. So some of those were actually on the exact same day. So yeah, there was Sydney. We had 2 shows the same day. So we played one that was all access, and then later in the day we played it again for an 18 plus crowd.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, now I remember. That just came back to me as soon as I saw that. That's funny.
Yeah. So you guys you're looking forward to coming back down here again?
Oh yeah. I mean, I had a blast last time. I mean, international stuff is always like extremely grueling, but it's also just very rewarding. Getting to experience an entirely different country. For all the guys that I'm bringing over with me, they've never been there, so for me, it's gonna be fun to live vicariously through them as a first time experiencing these things. And it's been so long for me that, honestly, it's going to feel like the first time just because it was so long ago.
Yep. So you'll be like the mini tour guide.
Yeah, somewhat. I don't know how much they should listen to me, but
Yeah. I mean, since 2013, I don't think much has changed that much in here in Australia. So maybe more houses.
Yeah. I mean, now it's going to be more of me, like trying to get my little one on FaceTime so I can walk around and be like, hey, look at this, wake up.
That's right. Yeah, because is it 1 or 2 kids?
2.
2, yeah.
Yeah.
So how are they when you go away on the tours?
I mean, that's always hard, but we do our best, like with the circumstance and everything, but yeah, it's always hard.
Yeah, I can imagine. I mean, I've got 2 little ones here. They're 8 and 9.
Okay, yeah. So mine's 8 and 14. So.
Okay, yeah. And I've got an older daughter. She's 29. So.
Okay, all right.
Yeah. So
So
yeah,
then quite the age gap there.
yeah, that's right. But my oldest daughter, she plays music as well, so we do like gigs together. So it's really good. All right, so can we talk a little bit about yourself, actually? Because I mean, you go online and trying to find things, but there's not a lot on, when you first got started, basically like getting into singing. Because I mean, you've got an amazing range, 3-octave range, and amazing voice. So can you talk about your singing career? How you got into it?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, like I didn't really go through any kind of like formative training like back when I started. I mean, like when I was in school, I was in like the high school band and stuff, and I played drums. So I mean, I didn't do choir or anything. I didn't take vocal lessons or anything. Really, singing started almost out of like necessity. I was in like a hardcore band, and like you know early 2000s, like Killswitch Engage was really coming up, and even Poison the Well was starting to do singing parts in their songs, and everybody in our band were like as tone deaf as it comes. And I was all like, well, I mean, I can hold a tune. And like back then I didn't really like sing, and so I was dubbed the clean singer of our hardcore band as we were transitioning into more of the metalcore style. um, and I also played guitar. And I just started to really enjoy, my opportunities of being able to sing, and then also, you know, doing that while playing guitar. So me and two of my other buddies who are in a pop punk band, we formed, kind of like a screamo band.
Yep.
And so now there were, like three bands out of these two bands. And so that's where I really started to explore my voice, and you know got like super into bands like Coheed and Cambria and Thursday, and like really started you know playing with the like the limitations and where I could take my voice. And then from there, I've definitely like gotten pointers along the way. Like I've worked with Melissa Cross, so she does like the Zen of Screaming. Like she was really helpful back in kind of like the first like early years of me like touring rigorously. Like she helped a lot. And then from there, like a lot of things was really like a lot of trial and error. Like it's almost like with gear, like you use kind of like a different microphone to find different sounds, or using in-ears. Tonight I'm going to try this one in and this one out, and then I'm going to switch it and I'm going to try this to find the right formula. A lot of that was even how I would sing, live, like, back in those earlier days, until I kind of, figured out like what formula, like what cocktail worked the best for me.
Yeah, that's amazing. I mean, especially going from that, like you're saying, the screamo type vocals to what you're doing now. It's like incredible.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Yeah, I mean, get so many people with it, especially like the 3 octaves. Do you know your which octave it is? Like how high? So for me, I got G. That's it. Forget about it.
Yeah, no, it's funny. I was actually talking, to one of my guitarists earlier today. And I always joke, I'm like, hey man, like, like what's the key of this song? And then he'll go and he'll find it for me, and then I'm like, well, I mean, like you like remember that I don't know anything about like the keys or the notes or anything. I'm always like, hey, like what note is that? And then he'll tell me. I'm like, okay, I'll write it down or something. Like I don't know, I like not knowing too much,
Yeah.
to where I'm not putting myself in a box. I definitely try to learn more and more as I get older, but I do like a little bit of that, just what feels right feels right. Like when I'm writing something, I don't want to be thinking mathematically in my head that, well, it's in this key, and if it's this major, I can choose from these notes, like it's like a computer formula or something. Like I would rather just feel what I want to feel,
Yeah, yeah.
and just roll with that. But I'm definitely trying to learn more and more as I get older, just as I start to get, surpassed by these youngsters with all the stuff they know, and I'm like, I don't really know much of that at all.
Because you play like lots of different instruments too, don't you? Like you play guitar, you play keyboards,
Yeah.
the drums.
Yeah, exactly. Which I mean, like drum music, I can read. I did that back in school.
Yeah.
So yeah, like I was definitely very like versed in like sheet music for drumming and everything. But beyond that, not so much.
Yeah. So back at school, was that more like the drum line or actually drum kit?
It was more like concert band. So yeah, so I mean, if there was a song that called for a drum kit, then I would play the kit. But if it didn't, then I usually did snare drum.
Yeah,
We didn't do a lot of marching band. I grew up in a small town, so it's not like we had a designated marching band and a designated concert band. It was just we were a concert band that from time to time did marching band stuff
yeah,
because it was a small town.
yeah. Yeah, because some of those are amazing, especially when you see the ones from America. Those marching bands, incredible. Because we do one here at school because I teach like year 7 ensembles, and we've got to do drumline as well. And it's pretty basic stuff, but you see the ones over there, it's like wow. Like when they do their football teams, they come out, whatever.
Oh yeah. All the tricks and stuff. Yeah, I can't say
Yeah,
that I got too much into all that. All kind of woulda, shoulda, coulda at this point.
yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's really good. So, yeah, going back to when you first joined the band, that was what, 2008, wasn't it? First joined?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, and you did what, the five albums, and then you had. So, was it? Would you call it like a bit of a split after that for a few years, and then back in?
Yeah, like there was definitely just like a period where I mean, there were really only like two of us left in the band at that moment, and there was just such a big rift that we just separated and like didn't talk and so there wasn't this discussion of like the band's broken up or anything. It was just that it was this like unspoken thing that because him and I had this you know these differences that just could not be figured out, that well, the band can't really continue because the two people who are in the band don't talk.
Yeah,
So and then things were brought back, which of course, like, there's lots of turmoil around it and everything, but I'd like to think that all of that's in the in our rear view mirror. Like we've been performing consistently the last couple of years and still putting out music. So like that's really the goal of this year is to put a new face on the band and kind of like forge the next path for the band. Ideally with a lot of the new music that we're working on right now.
yeah. So from the band, like 2008, so I know you're part of the band as well, the original now. Is there any other members from there in the band now?
No, not currently.
Okay, yep. And your bass player, I think, is he the one that does like do you call it the harsh vocals or the scream vocals? Or I know there's so many different names for it.
Yeah. I guess I would say the screams. So I mean, like the one who's doing the screams now, his name's Louis. And so he plays guitar.
Okay.
So yeah, like the bassist, he does like some of the clean stuff with me live, but he also backs up, some of the screens live. So that's one really nice thing is that like the guys I've got with me now, they're such professionals about everything. They're extremely talented at what they do. So that's even more reason why I'm excited for the new material is, to have all these different brains in one spot to, collaborate with, because it's so much fun to collaborate and create this art.
Yeah, definitely. So I mean, I love seeing those bands where I love having the difference between the clean and the screamer as well. I think it's always a bonus for me anyway. I'd much rather listen to that than a full song of screamo, personally anyway. But you see a lot of bands where like they do the screamo, but they also got the clean, like the same person, especially doing backing harmonies or anything. And I think that's really amazing as well.
Oh yeah. That, I mean, I definitely did more of the screaming along with the singing when I was younger, and then it just I won't lie, I'm not Superman. Like that gets extremely difficult to wear both of those hats.
Yeah,
Where for me it was a whole lot more. I mean, I'm more passionate about clean singing, whereas for me screaming was more or less like this is the style of the band, so it just kind of wear the hat because the hat is what it is type thing. But it was more of, well, I want to make sure that we can put on these shows. Like I want to be honest to what I'm putting on the record. I want to be able to also do it out there and not make it to where I can't by screaming.
yeah, definitely. Yeah. What would you find harder, would you say? The clean sing or the scream?
I mean, definitely the singing, like you've got to, I've always said that, like this is my instrument, like a guitarist can feel unwell, they can be tired, they can they can even have a broken leg. And as long as their guitar, has new strings on it, it's tuned properly and everything's running proper, nobody in the crowd knows how they're feeling.
Yeah.
Whereas like a singer, it's almost like you're wearing it on your sleeve because this is your instrument.
Mm.
If you're not feeling well, if you're stressed, if you're tired, it's all audible. It's all right there. So, I'm constantly restringing my instrument. I'm constantly tuning it. I'm constantly, polishing it and making sure that it is stage ready. From the moment I wake up, whether it's like wake up warm ups, to wake up like your vocal cords and everything, and just monitoring things throughout the day, not talking too much, not talking too loud,
Yeah.
avoiding environments that cause you to do those things that are going to wear out your voice. So absolutely, I've always said, man, I would, like, if I was just like an instrumentalist, man, I would enjoy tour so much. I'd just be running around not caring about anything and like doing like whatever I wanted. And I was like, I can't really do that. I've got, everybody has like a very important job, but I am my instrument, so I have to always be mindful of that.
Yeah. I think especially for like you're saying that these Australian tours and things like that, where you're going through long flights and jet lag and everything, for a singer that must be hard. Like you're saying, instrumentalists, no problem. Doesn't matter if they're sick, they just get up there, do their thing. But for you, you can like, try and get to sleep on the plane or get that rest.
Yeah. No. The international runs are always like a big test. But that's the good thing, like we're doing, consistent runs of shows over here, to get us good and road ready, so that for, some of those grueling situations, because we have some of those nights over here too, where it's like, oh man, like we have another show tomorrow and it's like a 10-hour drive. That means, like we're not getting into a hotel. We're sleeping in this thing at like a truck stop or something. And then, waking up and finishing the drive because we got to get there and sound check and load in. So yeah, we've had some of those situations, but you just, you've got to learn to adapt to that specific scenario, make the best of it. And, my big thing is number one, take care of my instrument.
Yeah, for sure. And how are you on the plane trips? Do you get sleep, or you're one of those ones that can't sleep?
I am terrible at sleeping sitting up. I'm awful at it. I think I've gotten just a little bit better at just like, like, I guess getting me to fall asleep as I've gotten older. I've always got to like listen to something. So I listen to like one of those sleep apps where you can like make your sounds and stuff, and, get some melatonin in you and just try to calm down a little bit, maybe even drink some sleepy tea. So I'd like to think that I'll probably be better at it this time than I was when I was a little bit younger.
Yeah.
So I'm just being hopeful.
That's good. Yeah, well, hopefully it all works out and you come here and all fine, put on a great show, which I'm sure you will.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah. Well, definitely I'll see you in the one in Melbourne. It's in November 16th, I think it is. I'll have to check out dates, but yeah. But I'll see you there. Hopefully we can catch up and say hello.
Awesome. Well, thank you for taking the time, Adam. It's nice to meet you.
No problem. I'll see you in 3 or 4 months.
Cool, man. All right, you have a good one.
Yeah, thank you. See you then. Bye-bye.